The attack strategy of the orca pod instantly changes the rhythm of the ocean. The target is not simply chased, but carefully redirected through a series of precise movements. Even other predators can lose their advantage when facing a pod of orcas. With coordinated attacks and remarkable intelligence, the orca turns strategy into its most powerful weapon. So who can truly escape once the entire ocean becomes a closing trap? In Antarctica, the Weddell seal stands as a masterpiece of adaptation. Beneath a thick, insulating layer of blubber, these seals often dive more than 1,000 feet into dark waters in search of food. After long and exhausting dives, they return to floating ice sheets, slow their breathing, and rest quietly in what seems like a safe moment of stillness. But in Antarctica, silence is never a guarantee. From beneath the icy water, black and white shadows rise almost without disturbing the surface. The orcas do not rush forward. They observe, keep their distance, study the drift of the ice, and wait for the moment when the entire group moves together. Above the surface, the seal tries to remain calm. Below, bodies weighing more than 12,000 pounds begin swimming side by side as a single formation. With only a few powerful tail strokes, the pod drives water forward into a rising wave that rolls directly toward the ice floe. The ice trembles. The seal struggles to maintain its footing as the distance to the water's edge slowly narrows. If the first wave is not enough, the orcas circle back, adjust their angle of approach, and generate additional waves. Every movement is deliberate, turning the ocean itself into part of the strategy. The wave-washing technique reveals how orca intelligence can surpass raw strength, with a success rate of nearly 75% and often requiring more than 4 waves. In the freezing ocean, they do not simply move through the sea. They turn the ocean itself into part of their survival strategy. In Patagonia, the intelligence of orcas appears through one of the ocean's boldest hunting strategies. South American sea lions often gather on sandy shores to rest, absorb warmth, raise their young, and recover energy after long feeding trips offshore. In the water, they are fast and highly agile. But on steep beaches, their reactions slow under body weight, crashing waves, and the distance back to deeper water. The orca understands that weakness well. From offshore, the pod watches the coastline as if reading a living map. The opportunity usually comes during high tide, when waves push farther onto the beach and create a brief pathway toward shore. When a sea lion loses awareness near the water's edge, the orca bursts forward at speeds approaching 30 miles per hour, using the force of the waves to surge onto the sand. Caught off guard, the sea lion quickly loses its advantage against the orca's massive size and remarkably precise angle of approach. Moments later, the orca uses the strength of its tail and body to pivot back toward deeper water, avoiding the danger of remaining stranded for too long. This is known as intentional stranding, a rare technique passed down through generations of orcas. For them, hunting is not driven by instinct alone, but also by memory and the inheritance of the ocean. Dolphins and orcas do not belong to two separate worlds. Biologically, the orca is the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family. But in nature, family ties do not erase the competition for survival. Smaller dolphin species have streamlined bodies, quick reflexes, and speeds that can exceed about 20 miles per hour, allowing them to skim across the waves like living arrows. That speed makes them unpredictable prey. But for some orca populations that specialize in hunting marine mammals, dolphins provide a protein-rich source of energy, forcing the entire pod to rely on intelligence rather than strength alone. Before closing in, orcas use sensitive hearing and echolocation to read movement underwater, locate the dolphin group, and identify any individual drifting out of rhythm with the others. Under the guidance of an experienced lead female, the orca formation splits into two lines. The first group spreads wide to both sides, creating a pincer formation that blocks escape routes. The other group maintains pressure from behind, forcing the dolphins to change direction again and again. When their speed loses rhythm, younger or weaker individuals are more likely to slip away from the protective formation. Once the target is isolated, a key orca accelerates from a hidden angle. The powerful rush can lift the dolphin several feet above the surface, disrupting the movement of the entire prey group. The chase ends quickly, and the food is shared among members of the pod. For orcas, hunting dolphins is not only about energy, but also a test of discipline, memory, and coordination. Gray whales are often called the long-distance travelers of the ocean. Each year, they can migrate more than 10,000 miles between warmer breeding grounds and nutrient-rich feeding areas in the north. An adult can reach about 49 feet in length and weigh more than 80,000 pounds, carrying remarkable endurance for a journey across the sea. But for orcas, that migration route is not just a random flow of movement. It is a path that can be remembered across many seasons. They do not rush into action. Instead, they watch from a distance, keep their spacing, and wait until the mother and calf move into open water, where waves, currents, and fatigue begin to slow their rhythm. Off the North Pacific, especially along near-shore routes by California, the encounter often becomes a prolonged test of strategy. Orcas take turns applying pressure from different directions, cutting off the path ahead and forcing the mother and calf to change course again and again. The goal is not a reckless confrontation, but to separate the calf from the mother's protection. With experience gathered across thousands of miles of ocean, the mother whale responds with persistence. She keeps the calf close, adjusts her swimming angle, and moves toward shallower water. If she can hold that formation long enough, both may pass through the dangerous stretch of sea. In the ocean, size creates an advantage, but endurance is what keeps hope alive. Across the open ocean, the humpback whale appears as a symbol of gentle strength. Reaching about 50 feet in length and weighing nearly 80,000 pounds, these whales are large enough to make most predators keep their distance. But for orcas, the weakness does not lie with the adults. It lies with the calves that still depend on their mothers. Along migration routes off Western Australia, Baja California, and parts of the tropical ocean, orcas may follow mother and calf pairs over long distances. Their strategy is not limited to cutting off the swimming path. They also disrupt breathing rhythms, block forward movement, and search for opportunities to separate the calf from the mother's side. Remarkably, some observations suggest that orcas may lift young whales closer to the surface, almost resembling the way mother whales assist calves when they need air. But during a hunting encounter, the behavior becomes a method of controlling position, disrupting the pair's rhythm, and forcing the mother whale to constantly change direction. A humpback mother is not easily overwhelmed. She uses her massive body, long fins, and persistence to shield the calf and keep it within a narrow zone of protection. The encounter can continue for extended periods, draining energy from both sides. In calm waters layered with fine sand, stingrays often press themselves tightly against the seafloor, blending into the ocean floor like flat shadows. Some large stingray species can grow beyond 10 feet in length and carry a sharp barb on the tail for protection. Against prey like this, the orca does not rush into unnecessary danger. It keeps its distance, circles in a wide arc, then delivers a powerful tail sweep that disrupts the sand and surrounding water. Within seconds, under the force of the shifting pressure, the stingray struggles to maintain control or remain concealed. Off the coasts of South Africa, Australia, and the Gulf of California, great white sharks do not always hold absolute dominance in cold waters. A large individual can measure about 15 feet in length, with sharp senses and impressive bursts of speed, making it a predator many animals avoid. But orcas do not rely on raw strength alone. They approach from an offset angle, disrupt the shark's swimming rhythm, and force it to change direction again and again. When the moment comes, the orca uses its body and upward force from below to turn the shark over, placing it in a temporary state of stillness. From there, the orcas control the position and target the shark's most energy-rich area. Here, the advantage does not come from violent impact, but from intelligence, the ability to read the weakness of an animal that seems to have none. The hyenas lock onto their target and immediately tighten formation around the prey. When another predator charges in to compete, the entire clan turns and presses back with force. Calls echo out, dust rises, and each member takes turns closing in without pause. They turn endurance, numbers, and pack discipline into relentless pressure. Once the attack begins, the grassland offers no way back. Across the dry grassland, the rhinoceros appears like a living block of steel. Weighing over 4,000 pounds, with thick skin and a horn that can reach nearly 3 feet, it carries a presence strong enough to keep most predators at a distance. Yet the spotted hyena still searches quietly for openings in that defense. They do not rush in recklessly, but move with patience around the mother. Each individual steps forward, then back, testing reactions while trying to widen the gap between mother and calf. If the mother holds her ground, the tension slows. But if the calf drifts from safety, the pace of the encounter rises quickly. The outcome is never certain. A strong mother often has enough power to push the hyenas away, but when the group grows large and timing aligns, they can turn a brief moment into a survival advantage. On the savanna, hyenas do not challenge a rhinoceros out of recklessness. They do so because, in nature, opportunity sometimes appears within just a few fleeting steps. Within a hyena clan, the greatest threat does not always come from lions or outside predators. At times, the strongest pressure comes from within. A spotted hyena clan can reach nearly 100 members, and as numbers grow, order must be maintained through strict rules. Around a hard-earned meal, high-ranking females usually move in first. If a lower-ranking individual tries to push forward, it may be pressured back by sharp calls and short advances that force it to step away. In this matriarchal society, females are often larger, stronger, and hold higher status than males. Rank determines who feeds first, who must wait, and which individuals have better chances to protect their young. For an adult male, the challenge begins when it leaves its birth clan at around 2 to 3 years old. In a new group, it typically holds the lowest rank and can be pushed back if it moves too close to the center of power. The greatest shifts occur when a dominant female begins to weaken. Lower-ranking groups may align, test the old order, and create tense standoffs. In the world of hyenas, family is both a fortress and a proving ground. That harsh structure is what keeps the clan strong across the African savanna. The African wild dog is one of the most coordinated hunters on the savanna. Each individual weighs around 70 pounds, but when the pack works together, they move like a single unit. They change direction quickly, maintain communication, and sustain a steady pursuit. In some regions, their success rate can reach nearly 80%. A figure that draws attention from many rivals. But that success also brings risk. For the spotted hyena, a hunt just completed signals opportunity. From a distance, they pick up on calls, rising dust, or shifts within herds. As the wild dogs secure their energy, the hyenas begin to test their chances. The encounter rarely erupts at once. Hyenas probe while applying pressure, while the wild dogs respond with flexible formation, warning calls, and controlled movement around their prize. But if more hyenas arrive, the physical advantage becomes clear. At around 140 pounds, nearly double the weight of a wild dog, each close approach forces a decision between holding the meal and maintaining formation. Contrary to old perceptions, the spotted hyena does not rely only on leftovers. Across the Serengeti grasslands, it is a persistent hunter, able to read the movement of herds and turn endurance into an advantage. Facing a wildebeest weighing around 550 pounds, every stride becomes a test of discipline, not just speed. The pack does not rush into the mass. They spread out, keep their distance, and watch for individuals that fall out of rhythm along the edges. When a target breaks from formation, the pursuit begins to build. They can maintain pressure over more than 3 miles, forcing the prey to steadily lose energy while trying to stay ahead. The peak of the hunt is not a single burst, but a steady, controlled pursuit. Each member rotates position, redirects movement, and gradually narrows the gap. When the prey loses its rhythm, the hunt concludes quickly. As the red dust settles, the grassland grows quiet again. In some regions, hyenas can secure up to about 95% of their food through their own hunts, driven by endurance, strategy, and patience. Though life within a hyena clan may seem competitive and harsh, most of that tension serves a deeper purpose: helping the young survive. Mother-spotted hyena are devoted caregivers. They protect their cubs in dens, guide them through the early vulnerable months, and show clear attachment when a cub is at risk or missing from the shelter. Because of this, the image of hyenas as selfish scavengers is incomplete. Their lives are shaped by constant challenges, where intense competition exists alongside cooperation as a foundation for survival. From a distance, the zebra herd appears like a black and white current moving across the grassland. Each one weighs around 700 pounds, strong enough to defend itself, and fast enough to reach about 40 miles per hour when danger appears. Even lions must respect their precise and powerful rear kicks. For spotted hyenas, hunting zebras is not a sudden strike, but a test of patience. The group begins by reading the rhythm of the grassland, watching the formation, and waiting for one individual to slow down, drift from the main herd, or lose connection while moving. Once the target is identified, the endurance race begins. The hyena's real strength lies in its ability to keep pursuing, allowing the group to maintain pressure over many miles and force the opponent to keep spending energy. When the zebra starts to lose rhythm, the decisive moment opens. The chase does not end through a single burst, but through quiet exhaustion. On the savannah, speed may help survival at first, but endurance decides what comes next. Across the African savanna, the leopard and the spotted hyena exist in constant tension. One is a solitary hunter, the other a rival always ready to compete for food. A leopard can carry its catch more than 20 feet up into a tree to protect it. But at around 180 pounds, it can still lose its advantage when a group of hyenas closes in. Hyenas do not rely on strength alone. With a keen sense of smell, they can follow a scent from several miles away, arriving at just the right moment to take advantage of available energy. When challenged, the leopard may circle back and watch for a chance to reclaim its prize. But facing a rival with a bite force of around 1,100 pounds per square inch, it must weigh the reward against the risk. At times, this rivalry turns into intense standoffs. Younger, stronger leopards can often escape quickly when pursued by a group. But for older individuals, even a brief delay increases the pressure, until stepping away becomes the safer choice. In these moments, a quiet retreat by a master hunter becomes the clearest expression of survival instinct. The lion has long been seen as the king of the savanna, a symbol of strength, territory, and control. An adult male can weigh around 420 pounds, carrying a thick mane and a presence that makes many rivals hesitate. But to the spotted hyena, the lion is not an untouchable legend. It is a rival to be watched, and at times one that must share the rewards of survival. A lone hyena rarely has the strength to face a lion head-on. Its true advantage lies in the clan. When a lioness strays too far from her group, the hyenas begin to apply pressure through numbers. They circle at a distance, test reactions, and gradually close in. If the lion falters, the group advances. If others arrive, they ease off to avoid risk. The tension often peaks after a hunt, when lions pause beside a hard-earned meal. From a safe distance, hyenas use rapid calls and alternating advances to stretch the standoff. When dozens gather, they can force lions into a defensive stance or push them to reposition. But when an adult male lion steps in, the balance shifts instantly. With explosive bursts and speeds nearing 40 miles per hour, a single decisive move can scatter the hyenas, easing the pressure and restoring distance. Across the savanna, power is never absolute. Survival belongs to those who know when to advance and when to step back. The encounter may be over, but the lesson of collective strength still remains. Orcas do not simply hunt. They turn the environment itself into part of the strategy. In the natural world, the advantage belongs to those capable of transforming intelligence into action. If this story kept you watching, be sure to like and subscribe to continue the journey. Far beyond the shoreline, those towering dorsal fins still cut powerfully through the open water.